Alright, I said I was gonna make this video, and by God, I'm going to make this video. So, before we get into the actual article, I want to stop and look at the title for a second. The title of the article is, I went on a date with Aziz Ansari. It turned into the worst night of my life. Now, completely ignoring its incredible melodramatic tone, I honestly have to say, man, if this is the worst night of this woman's life, then she's been living on
Easy street, where the sun's always shining.
I wish I could recall the worst experience of my life being some woman wanted to have sex with me and I didn't want to have sex with her, and I was able to escape the situation without getting raped. I wish I could say that. I mean, just the other day, I got into a car accident and totaled my car, of no fault of my own. By the way, I was rear-ended, and now my car is gone. If I could trade in this event in my life of just getting rear-ended for no apparent reason and losing my vehicle for some chick, screw it, I'll take a gay guy. Some gay guy trying to have sex with me and me, like, escaping the situation unscathed. By all means, I would take it. This woman here, I mean, obviously, it's her being melodramatic, but I think it's interesting to highlight that. She approached him because she recognized his camera flash. Aziz Ansari was taking pictures at the 2017 Emmy Awards after party with a film camera, not a digital one. I stood up and I'm like tipsy at this point and feeling really confident. I'm in a gown and I walk up to Aziz and said, "What'd you just shoot with?" Grace is a 23-year-old Brooklyn-based photographer, then aged 22. We are not using her real name to protect her identity because she is not a public figure. She says Ansari brushed her off at first, but after he realized they both brought the same kind of camera to the event, an old model from the 80s, he was impressed. They flirted a little. He took 2 pictures of her, she snapped some of him, and then she and her date went back to the dance floor. It was like one of those things where you're aware of the other person all night, she said. We would catch each other's eyes every now and then. Hold on, wait a minute. I think we missed something in that last section. Let's go back a second. They flirted a little. He took 2 pictures. She got some of him, and then she and her date, Nani? They ran into each other one last time, right as Grace was leaving. At Ansari's suggestion, she put her phone in his number. When her plane landed back in New York the next day, she already had a message from him. They exchanged flirtatious banter over text for a week or so before she asked him to go out with him on Monday, September 25th. That date didn't go as planned. The night would end with Grace in an Uber home, in tears, messaging her friend about how Ansari behaved. Babe spoke to the first friends she told about it and reviewed the messages on her phone. The day after the incident, she wrote a long text to Ansari, saying, "I just want to take this moment to make you aware of your behavior and how uneasy you made me feel." To that message, Ansari responds, "Clearly, I misread things in the moment, and I am truly sorry." The mobile phone number from which his texts to her were sent matches up with his details on a searchable public register. I would imagine it would. I don't know, this seems like a pretty unnecessary detail. It's like saying, as it turns out, when you drink water, it quenches your thirst. I'm pretty sure, you know. I'm just saying. We spoke to Grace last week. When we met, Ansari had just won Best Actor for his Netflix show Master of None at the Golden Globes, where he declared his support for the fight against sexual assault and harassment by wearing a Time's Up pin on the red carpet. Grace said it was surreal to be meeting up with Ansari, a successful comedian and major celebrity, and she was excited for their first date. Before meeting Ansari, Grace told friends and coworkers about the date and consulted her go-to group chat about what she would wear to fit the cocktail chick dress code he gave her. Well, that's interesting. He told that bitch what to wear? No. And she listened? No, well, yeah. Can't argue with that. She settled on a tank top, dress, and jeans. She showed me a picture. It was a good outfit. Again, this unnecessary detail. I don't... okay, whatever. After arriving at his apartment in Manhattan on Monday evening, they exchanged small talk and drank wine. It was white, she said. I didn't get to choose and I prefer red, but it was white wine. I mean, I gotta ask this question because a nigga doesn't usually partake in alcoholic beverages, but is there really much of a difference? I mean, I was pretty sure that wine was just grape juice with alcohol anyway, so did you really miss out on much? That's all I'm asking. Then Ansari walked her to Grand Banks, an oyster bar on board a historic wooden schooner on the Hudson River just a few blocks away. She said it was a beautiful, warm September night. They discussed NYU, comedy, and a new secret project he was working on, but she says she did most of the talking. Now, well, color me shocked that a woman was talking more than a man was. I've never even heard of such a scenario ever occurring in the history of ever. Grace says she sensed Ansari was eager for them to leave. When the waiter came over, he quickly asked for the check, and he said, let's get off this boat. She recalls there was still wine in his glass and more left in the bottle he ordered. The abruptness surprised her. He got the check, and then it was bada boom, bada bing. We're out of there. They walked the 2 blocks back to his apartment building, an exclusive address on the Tribeca's Franklin Street, where Taylor Swift has a place too. When they walked back in, she complimented his marble countertops. According to Grace, Ansari turned the compliment into an invitation. He said something along the lines of, "How about you hop up and take a sight?" Within moments, he was kissing her. In a second, his hand was on my breast. Then he was undressing her. Then he undressed himself. She remembers feeling uncomfortable at how things quickly escalated. It's damn, does this nigga not know what foreplay is? He didn't even wait for the water to simmer. He just put it on a full boil. Alright, man. Can't say I like the cut of his jib, but that's him. When Ansari told her he was going to grab a condom within minutes of their first kiss, Grace voiced her hesitation explicitly. I said something like, "Whoa, let's relax for a sec, bro. Let's chill, dude." She says he then resumed kissing her, briefly performed oral sex on her, then asked her to do the same thing to him. She did, but not for long. It was really quick. Everything was pretty much touch and done within 10 minutes of hooking up, except for actual sex. I don't know why I did that accent. She says Ansari began making a move on her that he repeated during their encounter. The move he kept doing was taking his 2 fingers in a V shape, putting them in my mouth and my throat to wet his fingers. Because of the moment he'd stick his fingers in my throat, he'd go straight for my vagina and try to finger me. Grace called the move the claw. Like this nigga's a Pokemon or some shit. And sorry, use claw attack. Not very effective. Ansari also physically pulled her hand towards his penis multiple times throughout the night. From the time he first kissed her on the countertop onward. He probably moved my hand to his dick 5 to 7 times, he said. He really kept doing it after I moved it away. But the main thing was that he wouldn't let her move away from him. She compared the path they cut across his apartment to a football play. It was 30 minutes of me getting up and moving and him following and sticking his fingers down my throat again. It was really repetitive. It felt like a fucking game. Now, I'm not really sure how the word fuck is being used in this sentence. I don't know if fuck is a verb, as in it felt like a fucking game, or if it's an adjective used to put some emphasis on game. It felt like a fucking game. I don't know. English language, man. English language. Throughout the course of her short time in the apartment, she says she used verbal and nonverbal cues to indicate how uncomfortable and distressed she was. Most of my discomfort was expressed in me pulling away and mumbling. I know that my hands stopped moving at certain points, she said. I stopped moving my lips and turned cold. Whether Ansari didn't notice Grace's reticence or knowingly ignored it is impossible for her to say. I know I was physically giving off cues that I wasn't interested. I don't think that was noticed at all. If it was ignored. Now, this is something that is really interesting to me. Mostly because, I guess as an individual who grew up around women and spent a lot of time in the friend zone, I understand that women are not very confrontational individuals. Okay, excuse me. Let me be more accurate. White women are not very confrontational individuals. I know, the white nationalists. They're calling me racist, man. They're upset with me right now. But, I mean, honestly, if you've ever interacted with a vast majority of white women, you will notice this common theme in them, and that they are very passive creatures. Now, I'm going to be real for a second. If this was me, well, actually, this could never be me because I don't intend on having sex until I'm married. Okay. If I was not me, but I had a lot of money, right, and I still kind of was like similar to me, but not me, and I was in this situation, of course I would notice that the woman was not receptive to what I'm doing because I obtain my pleasure from the fact that the woman is enjoying herself. That is what I like the most. I like it when women enjoy having sex. It makes me really weird. I know that sounds gay. Like, I like it that women enjoy having. I know it's weird, guys. I know it's weird, but honestly, I don't know, man. It makes me feel good to know I make a woman feel good. I don't know. I know it's a strange proclivity, but strange as it is mine. So honestly, if I was in this situation and I'm over here, using my claw move or trying to get some foreplay going and the girl, and she isn't giving it to me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna tell that girl to straight up get out of my house. I mean, seriously, if I'm over here having to chase this girl around, she's over here mumbling and pulling away, I'm just gonna say, you know what, man, just go home. Just leave. I'll go call Becky. God damn. That's what I don't know. That's me. It's very clear and obvious to see that Ansari is not an individual who is very perceptive to the emotional cues that women give out, and it's either that or he just doesn't care. Ansari wanted to have sex.
No.
She says she remembers him asking again and again, "Where do you want me to fuck you?" while she was still seated on the countertop. She says she found the question tough to answer because she says she didn't want to fuck him. What do you mean you found the question tough to answer? It's not like he asked you what is the square root of 62,000.85. I mean, it's not like he asked you, like, how was Harry Potter able to come back to life after Voldemort killed him? Now, of course, my friends, I am not obtuse. I understand what she means, what she's saying. She's not saying that the actual answer to the question was tough to deduce, What she's actually saying was it was tough for her to verbalize the answer to the question because, as I said earlier in the video, a lot of white women are not very confrontational individuals. They're quite passive. Of course, not all, but I mean, come on. Like, if you've had any experience with white women, let's, come on, come on. I wasn't even thinking of that. Like, I totally, didn't want to even be, engaged in that with him, but he kept asking, so I was like, next time, no, Grace, you done goofed. You can't say next time because it implies that you have the idea of sex in your mind, that you've already considered doing it. That's what Aziz hears when you say next time. He hears, oh, so that means maybe I just gotta warm her up a little bit more. Maybe if I, do a little bit of that foreplay, maybe I might be able to warm her up to giving me some. You should have just said, I don't want to have sex with you, sir. If you had just told him that you didn't want to have sex, I'm pretty sure he would have stopped. And he goes, oh, you mean second date? And I go, oh, yeah, sure. See, and now some of you niggas, some of you white nationalist niggas, you guys are think I'm giving white women too much. When I say there's some passive creatures. This is a pretty good example. This is textbook white woman passivity right here for all to see, my friends, okay? I'm not making this up. I didn't write this article, okay? This is my observations. Let's continue. He goes, well, if I poured you another glass of wine, would it count as our second date? I mean, this nigga has no shame in his game. This nigga, he is a man on a mission. And that mission is him trying to stick the landing. Oh my gosh. He poured her a glass and handed it to her. She excused herself to the bathroom soon after. Grace says she spent around 5 minutes in the bathroom, collecting herself on the mirror and splashing herself with water. She then went back to Ansari. He asked her if she was okay. I said I don't want to feel forced because then I'll hate you. And I'd rather not hate you, she said. Again, with some of that passive bullshit. At no point did she say, look, bruh, I don't want to have sex with you right now, man. I don't want to have sex with you all. I just want to talk about the Legend of Zelda. So that's why I came back to your apartment, Aziz. I had no idea that you wished to have sex with me. I had no idea at all. I just want to talk about Castlevania and all the different changes that happened over the many devices that it was released on. I just wanted to talk about Pokemon and all the recent changes Pokemon Ultra made to Pokemon Sun and Moon. I had no idea that you wished to have sex with me, Aziz. This is totally shocking and surprising to me. I mean, yeah, I'm mocking the hell out of her here, because, like, there's no way in hell, like, she went back to this nigga's apartment thinking to herself, oh, we're going to talk about the Lord of the Rings right now. There's no way. There's no way she went back to his apartment, and in her mind, she was like, yeah, we're going to talk about complex theories of reality. Is there a multiverse? I wonder what his opinions are on Ben 10. Yeah, let's talk about that. We know... We know that was not her mindset. We know that there's no way she didn't know, that she did not go back to his apartment thinking to herself, hey, we're going to talk about the recent changes Nickelodeon made to its new lineup. Come on. I said I don't want to feel forced because then I'll hate you. And I'd rather not hate you, she said. She told Babe that at first she was happy with how he reacted. He said, oh, of course. It's only fun if we're both having fun. The response was technically very sweet at acknowledging the fact that I was very uncomfortable. No, not really. Verbally in that moment, he acknowledged I needed to take it slow. No, not really. The nigga is just saying what you want to hear. And apparently it worked very well. I mean, at first I was mocking his game, but it was successful in tricking you into believing that this nigga had an understanding of what you were saying. Then he said, let's just chill over here on the couch. This moment is particularly significant for Grace, because she thought that would be the end of the sexual encounter. Her remark about not wanting to feel forced had added a verbal component to the cues that she was trying to give about her discomfort. When she sat down on the floor next to Ansari, who sat on the couch, she thought he might rub her back, or play with her hair, something to calm her down. Ansari instructed her to turn around. He sat back and pointed to his penis and motioned for me to go down on him. And I did. Be gone, fuck! Ansari instructed her to turn around. He sat back and pointed to his penis and motioned for me to go down on him. And I did. And I think I just felt really pressured. It was literally the most unexpected thing I thought would happen at that moment, because I told him I was uncomfortable.
You serious?
Soon he pulled her back onto the couch. She would tell her friend via text later that night. He made out with me again and says, doesn't look like you hate me. Halfway into the encounter, wait, hold on. Did this nigga kiss her after she sucked his dick? Okay, whatever. He led her from the couch to a different part of his apartment. He said he had to show her something. Then he brought her to a large mirror, bent her over and asked her again, where do you want me to fuck you? Do you want me to fuck you right here? He rammed his penis against her ass while he said it, pantomiming intercourse. I just remember looking in the mirror and seeing him behind me. He was very much caught up in the moment, and I obviously very much wasn't, Grace said. After he bent me over is when I stood up and said, no, I don't think I'm ready to do this. I really don't think I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, guys. I can't finish this. It's so sad. It's so sad. Alright. Kidding aside, I don't think I'm ready to do this. I really don't think I'm going to do this. And then he says, how about we just chill, but this time with our clothes on. She said that's when the reality of what was going on, that's when it set in. So after this nigga pulled out his ultra special move, after he activated the trap card that was the claw, you didn't realize it then, You didn't realize what was going on when you put his penis in your mouth. You didn't realize what was going on when he bent you over in front of the mirror. It was the moment you guys sat down and saw Jerry Seinfeld talking about nothing where you like, oh my gosh, dude. Whoa. Okay, well, okay, let's continue. It really hit me that I was violated. No. I felt really emotional all at once when we sat down there. That whole experience was actually horrible. Yeah, I imagine so. You know, color me shocked that a man you don't know only spent all of a couple of hours with tried to bring you back home to his house so he could just have sex with you. I am surprised that you feel emotional and dirty and nasty about this situation. I am just so shocked. I mean, seriously, lady, come on, for real. Let's be real with each other here, okay? With each other right now, okay? You didn't go back to that nigga's apartment thinking to yourself that he's about to boot up the GameCube and you guys are about to play Pokemon Coliseum. Come on. You didn't think you guys were about to go back to his apartment to trade some old Pokemon cards. That's not what was gonna happen, and you know it, alright? You guys weren't gonna talk about your favorite Digimon, okay? Right? Could you imagine that? He's leading her to an apartment. You know, I actually really like the design of War Greymon, you know, but Sean Greymon is actually a pretty cool looking dude. I mean, he looks more like a dragon. Come on. You knew what the nigga wanted. You couldn't have not known what the nigga wanted. While the TV played in the background, he kissed her again, stuck his fingers down her throat and moved on to undo her pants. She turned away from him. She remembers feeling in a different mindset at that point. I remember saying, you guys are all the same. You guys are all the fucking same. And Sorry asked her what she meant. Nigga. You knew, nigga. You can't be that up. No one is that obtuse. Okay. When she turned to answer, she says he met her with a gross, forceful kiss. He met her with gross, forceful kisses. After that last kiss, Grace stood up from the couch, moved back into the kitchen island where she left her phone, and said that she would call herself a car. He hugged her, kissed her goodbye, another aggressive kiss. She pulled away, and Sorry finally relented and insisted he'd call her the car. He said it's coming, but just tell them your name is Essence, she said, a name he has joked about using as a pseudonym in his sitcom. He teared up in the hallway outside his place, pressing the down button on the elevator. The Uber was waiting when she left the building. He asked her if she was Essence. She said yes, and then she rode back to her Brooklyn apartment. I cried the whole way home. At that point, I felt violated. That last hour was so out of my hand. I'm gonna stop the video there. I don't really need to continue reading the article because it just kind of accounts stuff that happened. There's a statement Ansari makes, but it's not really important. What is important is this scenario here. This totally normal scenario that has probably happened to a great many young ladies. It's really easy to take this moment, you know, and bash men. Say that men are gross, disgusting pigs that just want to only have sex with women. But that wouldn't be accurate, and that wouldn't be fair. It's just, and it just wouldn't even be true. It would just be an outright lie. I mean, yes, men like to have sex with women. Men want to have sex with men. I mean, with women, I mean, they're homosexuals, but yes, this is true, but the silliness that occurs to a lot of young ladies where they're caught in these situations where they just feel like they can't say no to men around them is honestly something that is kind of to be expected. And the reason why is because women's relationship with men is very paradoxical. Men are simultaneously the very thing women want and need, but they're, afraid of. Because there's no way around the fact that men are just bigger and stronger than women, and in some cases are indeed just more intelligent than some women are. And when you're against this creature who is possibly bigger than you and stronger than you and smarter than you, like as a woman, it makes total sense to be afraid. It makes even if you are more intelligent than the man. I mean, it makes sense to be scared in this situation. But your brain still wants to be with a man, so you put yourself in situations like these where you should be uncomfortable, where you should be wary, with strange men you don't know, because for some reason no one ever taught you how to control that baser, lustful lizard urge, or no one ever taught you this basic, simple common sense. And that is, you don't go into environments with niggas you don't fucking know. It doesn't matter how popular they are, how famous they are, how much money they have. You just don't do it. Someone apparently never gave you this information. Now, does this mean that what Ansari did was okay and fine? Not at all. In fact, it was just strange and a little bit creepy, I dare say. I don't use that word lightly. I can understand how you'd be uncomfortable with a nigga putting his fucking fingers in her mouth over and over again. That would make anybody uncomfortable. But come on. You know, what happened here, you know, while gross, nasty, and uncomfortable, is not sexual assault in any stretch of the imagination. Let's not pretend that this woman was forced to do some shit she didn't want to do. Okay? If this nigga pointed at his dick and she was like, oh man, you know, and she still did it, you know what? Tough. Okay? Tough. And I don't feel bad. And I don't feel bad because, you know, I do feel bad. That's not even true. I do feel bad because apparently somewhere along the path of your growth, no one gave you this basic common knowledge that you don't meet up with strangers that you don't know very well in secluded areas, okay? No one taught you that. Apparently you thought that you guys are just going to be all hunky-dory and eat ice cream back at his apartment. Someone never told you that when a guy is trying to rush you back to his place, he's just trying to get his dick wet. I mean, a lot of girls are really upset and they cry about fuckboys. They cry about these men that just use Tinder to just have a bunch of sex with women. They're upset about pickup artists. And at no point in time do they ever just accept the responsibility and common knowledge that most men, they like you. They care about you. They want to build their whole lives around you. But if you keep fucking these guys over here, you can't be mad at anybody but yourself. I'm not upset with Aziz Ansari. I'm not going to lie. Was what he did strange and creepy and weird? Absolutely. But Grace went back to his apartment. And you can't tell me that this girl didn't know that this nigga was trying to have sex with her. Because if she didn't know, then that means her parents failed her, her friends failed her, her whole society failed her. Because they didn't teach her this common knowledge that when you want to go on a date with someone, you spend multiple dates with them multiple times to get a feel for them before you go back to their house. Okay? It was obvious that he was just wanted to have sex with you. And I don't feel bad for you, Grace. Sorry it happened to you, Grace, but you weren't sexually assaulted. Okay? You just underwent some really bad foreplay. So, with that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. And go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I will see you cool cats soon. Adios.